But yeah, going back to what we think the gameplay might be, Barrett, I know forever since the dawn of time and Harry Potter began, you've wanted a bully-like Harry Potter game.
Ever since I played Bully, Bully was one of my favorite games growing up. I'd be interested to see. I can go back to it now on PS4 and see how that game holds up.
Back
but
to it
like,
anytime I think about
you can play it on your phone.
Yeah,
like it's literally on iPhone.
Yeah.
That's where I replayed it like about a year or two ago.
And so it was just one of those like for the time they made this like really funny kind of like kid growing up and dealing with like bullies and like all of this stuff and like romancing and whatnot, and they made this like entire like small town that you can go to, and like it's a boarding school, and it was all just like it's like it should be Harry Potter, but it's all muggles and whatnot. So I was always kind of asking for, like, I've asked since this game has come out, like for a bully-like Harry Potter game, because I think it would work so well.
Bully did such a great job of creating a school that felt like a literal lived-in space. Like it felt like a place that you could tangibly walk around and visit and open doors to. I didn't go to boarding school, but this felt like I was in one. Like when I think about Bully, I have memories of running around that school as if it was a place I've been to myself, because it felt like a real place. It's really cool.
I would say that Bully definitely has some Harry Potter in its DNA, and that it's, it's set in America. It's got a lot of American stuff, but it's a Rockstar game, so it's made by a bunch of Scots and Brits and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like it's of the fact that it's set at a boarding school with like school colors and like crests and uniforms, which is like a distinctly not an American thing. Like we mostly wear like crappy T-shirts and sweatpants to school. I did anyway. But I mean, it's got, and it's like I feel like the sort of the frame of reference that a lot of kids have for like private school, boarding school is Hogwarts, especially stateside. So right. I don't know, and I think that the coolest thing there would be all of the class mini games.
Oh yeah,
that's how you make, like, obviously if you want to make a sloppy Harry Potter game, you have it so you're like, you got to go and fight the monsters and bad wizards, and you're like, oh, okay, you go in a dungeon, and it's just a regular video game at that point. But how do you take, like, I don't know, potions or defense against the dark arts or charms or whatever, what are the classes, and how do you like turn those into different game experiences?
Yes.
Right. Like I love the idea of that being how you farm different experience points for different like skill sets.
And I think to ignore those would take away some of like the dream of what we all want from this Harry Potter.
Yeah, and to bring up good old Andrew Goldfarb, a good point that was made from him, and also shout out to Joey Noel, who I was talking frantically about this this morning, was like put some Persona aspects in there of like the way like you deal with the day-to-day system of going to classes and getting XP points of like specific like skill trees and whatnot would work really well in this game.
Well,
that would be that perfect infusion of Bully and Persona would be the best Harry Potter game possible. That would,
especially the whole thing of like taking classes at day, you're sneaking around at night. Like that's what they do in the books too. Harry and Ron screw around at night.
They got to get out of that blanket together and hide out in the library with their lanterns.
Harry and Ron screw around at night. It sounds like a different film.
Boy,
this show has been one for a lot of great catchphrases.
Harry Potter in the nighttime screw around with Ron.
Harry and his good ginger pal head up to the Shrieking Shack.
The Shrieking Shack.
Beneath the old Whomping Willow.
Let's see what Professor Wiggle Room has to say about this.
Let's go visit the groundskeeper and have some of his rock cakes.
Please help me. Obviously, you can tell we're pretty excited about Harry Potter. Brian, perhaps most of all.
Definitely top 5 films.
So that's actually a great question, because you thought that Harry Potter was set in Victorian Game of Thrones times, I believe was your explanation of it. You're also notoriously, you're also not a fan of like Lord of the Rings, but you got super into Shadow of Mordor because it's like, it's so distantly removed, and it was a great game underneath there. So
yeah, I mean, to me, gameplay is king, right? And that's why I actually played a bunch of the Harry Potter Lego games just because I like the gameplay of the Lego games. Right. It doesn't connect to me as much as other stuff, but also whether you love Harry Potter or you don't know anything about it, once you've unlocked the 20th character in one of those games, we're all sitting around saying, who the is that? And so I think like gameplay is king, right? And so if it comes down to it, I will play an awesome action RPG with spells and magic if it's fun. And the voice acting is great and the characters are charming and stuff like that. And so that's really all it takes for me.
If you enjoyed that discussion, there is so much more about Harry Potter and everything else going on in the world of PlayStation. To catch that, tune into Beyond Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific at beyond.ign.com, or go to youtube.com/IGN Beyond on Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific for the full episode. Thank you so much for watching.